Hey everyone, it's Tori and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. For today's video, I'm sharing my bullet journal setup for February 2023. As always, I'm starting out with a flip through of last month, and for January I went with this cozy winter theme with one of my favorite periwinkle shades from my Tombow collection. I love this color palette, I'm totally going to miss it, but I'm very excited to show you what I came up with for February. For February, I decided to go with a we go together like theme, which I'm not sure if I've ever seen anybody do this, but it really screamed Valentine's Day to me without all the love and hearts and all your typical Valentine's Day things. It's just going to be a bunch of things that are stereotypically considered to be the perfect combination, which I just think is so adorable. And as always, all of my supplies used in this video will be linked down below. I used a few calligraph pens from my Archer and Olive collection, a couple Crayola Super Tips, some Tombow Dual brush pens. It was kind of a mishmash, but I was more recreating something that I saw online, so I wanted to get the colors just right. So we are jumping right into my cover page where I am going to be making a peanut butter and jelly kind of deconstructed sandwich, if you will. Well, I guess it's the peanut butter and jelly sandwich before you put it together, so I actually got this entire theme inspiration from the Graceful Baker, who is actually a cookie designer. The Graceful Baker is pretty popular on YouTube and lots of other social medias. I love watching her design and ice cookies, and last year in February she went with a we go together like theme. I will have the inspiration picture on the screen here. I pretty much took all of her designs and made them into doodle form instead of cookie form. This was my very jumbled mess of a planning page that I did inside my junk drawer journal, where I was trying to figure out doodles and color palettes and all the things when I was recreating this cookie artist's theme. So I am going to start by using this color called Sunshine from my calligraph pens collection, and you can always use my code CMCG10 for 10% off your order on anything archerandolive.com. I have these calligraphs. My journal is also from Archer and Olive. They are seriously an amazing brand, so I would highly recommend them. Getting back into talking about the color palette and coloring in this peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I am going to be using the color Cinnamon from the calligraph pen collection for the peanut butter, and then the jelly or raspberry jam kind of color, I guess, is from my Crayola Super Tips collection, the 50 pack. I am now breaking out my cutting board and my brand new X-Acto knife that I actually have to switch over because it wasn't working very well. I have to kind of fiddle around with this for the next time I want to use it, I think. But just like January, I am using my cover page as an opportunity to work on my Dutch door cutting and designing skills. I'm basically just cutting around this peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I'm cutting about 10 to 11 dot grid spaces in, I think. And then I'm just rounding the corners to make the spread more cohesive with the rounded corners of my regular journal pages. And then I flip to my calendar spread to make this fun doodly design that you'll be able to see from the cover page and the calendar. And I have a feeling I'm going to be doing Dutch door cover pages for the rest of this year because I'm just loving how good these have been turning out for the past couple months. I am now moving on to my dashboard spread, which I had in January, but in January I actually wrote dashboard at the top and I wrote January really tiny on my cover page in the corner. I didn't love how that turned out, so I decided to just write February as the title for this whole cover page spread, if you will, instead of dashboard. I'm keeping this spread set up the exact same as I did in January, so I just have a space for my to-do list, my focus, which has to do with goals I want to accomplish this month, and also some events that are going on. And then my cute little we go together like doodle at the bottom is ketchup and mustard because, again, it's just another stereotypical perfect combination for this Valentine's Day couple kind of season. We are now moving on to my calendar spread, which is basically the exact same layout as last month. I just wanted to keep it simple and functional with the little Dutch door kind of peeking out on the side. I'm using my Crayola Super Tip colors to kind of add colorful accents on this page, and I'm also wondering if you have any ideas for what to do with that half of the peanut butter and jelly that's still sticking out on the other side. I was thinking about adding a quote or adding a doodle or maybe even adding another list of some sort. I have no idea, but I think it looks a little bit strange to have that little piece sticking out. Before we move on to the rest of my February trackers, I wanted to announce something pretty exciting, and that is that I am a brand rep for February to April for Pretty Little Studios, which is where I got these journaling sticker kits for my weekly spreads this month and last month. I love the journaling kits the most for my bullet journal because I can use up the entire kit in just one weekly, which is so satisfying. And if you want to get some planner or journal sticker kits for yourself, you can use code CMCG10 for 10% off your order at prettylittlestudios.com. The first weekly you saw was the Earthy Tones kit, and I just added a couple football stickers for Super Bowl Sunday. And then this one is a Court of Night kit, which kind of goes along with ACOTAR, which is one of my favorite book series of all time. Kat is constantly coming out with new sticker kits for planners, for journaling, and even just single page sheets, so I would highly recommend checking out her site and using my code if you see anything that you like. Getting back into my February monthly spreads, I am now moving on to my habit tracker, which you're going to see that most of my trackers look the exact same as last month, just with a different theme and a different color palette. I have 9 habit grids, and at the bottom I have a little doodle of peas and carrots, which, just like Forrest Gump says, we go together like peas and carrots. We are now moving on to my gratitude log, and this grid layout is inspired by Tracy Tyler Revel here on YouTube. I feel like I say it in most of my videos, but I want to give credit where it's due. Every single day I write one thing that I'm grateful for, and I try not to write a lot of the same things that I'm grateful for. I try to make it specific to that day, because of course I'm grateful for my family every single day, but I try to just find like the little things that I'm grateful for. And my we go together like, or perfect combination for my gratitude log is cookies and milk. We are now getting into my stress and my health log, which I'm keeping it very simple with just 1 through 28 down the side, and I write the thing that I'm stressed about that day, or if I'm not stressed about anything, I just write none. And likewise, I have a health side for me to write something that's going on with my health, whether I have a stomach ache, a headache. I remember I had my eye twitching a lot in January, so just things I need to track in those aspects. For my anxiety tracker, if you've been around here a long time, you know that I set my anxiety tracker up like a mood tracker, and for this month I wanted to do a circle tracker for my anxiety. I split up this circle into 28 spaces, and for each day I'm going to color in based on the key at the bottom, how high my anxiety gets each day. So my key, you'll see it in just a second, is none, a little, a lot, and panic, which means panic attack. And I love having my stress right next to my anxiety because I might be able to see that I had a panic attack, but I wouldn't be able to see what I had a panic attack about. So it's just nice to have those right next to each other so I can really dive in deep on what I'm anxious about and how anxious I am each day. To bring in my We Go Together like theme, I have quite possibly my favorite combination, which is donuts and coffee right in the center of this tracker. You can kind of see my key down here. I just use smiley faces, but I used to write none, a little, a lot, and panic, but I know what they mean now, so I'm just keeping it easy for myself. I'm keeping my reading log exceedingly simple with just the percentages 0 through 100 at the top to track where I am in my audiobooks each day. And then going down the side, I just have 1 through 28 so I can mark each day that I am reading and where I am getting in my books. I also made my X and Y axis, if you will, very, very long, so I wish I made them a little bit shorter, but I didn't want to go in with my white gel pen. I'm just leaving it. On the other side, I have my content tracker, which is where I track what I'm posting every single day on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We are moving into the last spread of my setup, and that is my February in review. Again, it's the exact same layout as last month because I love how it turned out last month, so I'm going to keep doing it until I get tired of it. On the left side, I have a space called Remembering, and I can just write some highlights of the month as well as adding in a Polaroid picture of one of my favorite pictures of the month. Also just a regular space on the bottom for things that I am loving that don't match any of the other categories. Oh yeah, I hated the way that I wrote Polaroid and I will be fixing that later. On the other side, I have a space called Listening To where I can put podcasts or songs that I am listening to. I honestly don't listen to a whole lot of music. I mostly just listen to audiobooks, so that's why I only have 2 spaces for that. The space where you saw me write numbers at the top and words like finance and health along the side, that's where I'm going to be rating aspects of my life that month on a scale from 1 being the worst to 10 being the best. I saw this in someone else's monthly review and I added into my spread last month, but at this point I haven't filled it out, so I'm not sure if I like it and want to continue with it or not, but I added it into February just in case I do. In my watching section, I have 3 TVs where I'm going to be labeling them movie, TV show, and YouTube, just to write 1 or 2 things that I am watching and loving throughout the month. And then I also have a reading section down at the bottom where I can write the titles of 3 books that I read during the month, which I usually read about 2 or 3. And then I'm just going to be coloring a couple things in, labeling a few more things, fixing that awful word Polaroid that I completely butchered, and that is this spread complete. We are now entering the final flip through portion of today's video, and I want to encourage you all to comment down below what your February theme is for this year in your bullet journal. And if you made it to the end of this video, please also add to your comment your favorite food combination in emojis. I told you that my favorite is coffee and donuts, but it could also be like avocado and toast, or eggs and bacon, or chocolate and peanut butter. Anything that you like to have a combination of, please add that in your comment down below. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. You guys are amazing. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe while you're here. Also, don't forget to check out my bullet journal Instagram at Creative Minds Coffee Grinds, and also my bullet journal TikTok, which is at Creative Mind Coffee Grinds without the S. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!